Everything's already confirmed. Daniel's already won the group. Now all that is left for him is to avenge his recent loss to Jack, and he can go to the fall major with a spring in his step. Jack, meanwhile, I mean, we're about to find out what kind of momentum he's going to have going into the fall major. Obviously, 3v3 and 1v1 are very loosely related, but I'm sure he would like to get at least one win in this group after two pretty disappointing 3-1 losses to Rawas and Jorias, our second and third place finishers. Yeah, how good is Daniel at the moment? We're about to see. I think he's going to win this one. I think he's going to sweep the group, and I think he's going to look very good while doing it. Jack has looked inconsistent since returning to Europe in preparation for the fall major, and Daniel has looked deadly. He's not even needed, as I mentioned earlier on in this tournament, not even needed to pull Dandroid out of the bag. It's just been Daniel, and it's been more than enough so far. Jack's asking, is there a finals between top two after this or after this just round robin? I'm going to tell him it's just RR. No time because people traveling to major. But I will, like I said, be trying to run more show matches that are, you know, not directly related to, well, they're kind of related to this event, but they're not going to be directly tied to this event. But yeah, basically, you know, depending on who wins and who's looking like the top players in the world, I'll be trying to arrange show matches to allow those players to actually confirm themselves as best player in the world. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that regardless of what happens here in this matchup, both players will remain in the discussion due to their recent successes that they've had. Well, let's see. Jack does have a knack of sometimes just showing up in spectacular form, even if he starts off a series or starts off a tournament looking a little bit rough. He's always got that ability of just hyper-focusing and becoming dominant in the mind games. And here he is, a double reset. That looks pretty good in the setup. Jack's going to be in Daniel's goal after that. Unfortunately for him, the ball wasn't. Here comes Daniel with just one reset. It's gone high into the bar. Jack wasn't quite sure if Daniel was doubling that. Wanted to be in the area just in case. Free flip from Jack into position. His setups are looking more efficient right now. He almost slots in a bottom corner shot after that one. Yeah, compared to game one of Jack versus Jorias, this is, at least for now, looking a lot better for Jack in terms of efficiency. Daniel's still got his number though, 2-1. That is a ridiculous angle change at the end of this air dribble. He's just moving slightly right that whole way, and then last second he lands the reset and goes left. Jack already committed too far into the middle of the goal. Slight kickoff win now for Daniel. Jack defends the first shot, but now he's only got 12 boosts to defend the second. It's a double reset to give Daniel a 3-1 lead. That's just too much to defend with the limited boost and limited momentum that Jack had available to him. Aerial game definitely Daniel favored at the moment. Even if Jack does bring out his peak aerial offense, I think Daniel's just a bit better in that regard. Now, Jack's got advantages elsewhere. I think physical game is his, as evidenced by plays like this, but ground game probably also his. And as far as defense goes, I think both these guys are pretty even. I would put Daniel a little bit higher on the tier list of shadow defense or reactive defense than Jack, but I'd put Jack a little bit higher on the proactive defense list. So overall, I think these two are very evenly matched. Current form though, not talking matchup, but just form, that's where I think Daniel has the advantage. He has really peaked at the right time coming into Europe a little bit earlier than Jack did. I think that's given him more time to get settled, start to play at his best. Easy long shot there for Daniel, at least easy for him. That's never been something that Daniel's had problems with. Whenever he's given just half a look at an open net from distance, he booms the ball in without hesitation. Jack, on the other hand, less confident with his open nets recently. He's going to try and find success with a half flip kickoff. That's a pretty good outcome for him. Jack's going to have the ball here and a lot of space to play with. His first touch really doesn't give him many options though. Jack is conceding possession. He would have loved to get a bit more of an angle on the dribble there, or alternatively a bit more of a bounce to play with. It looks like Daniel's just giving the ball to him. He'll make it back, it seems. Oh, he's messed it up. Well, he should have made it back to control the situation. But what Daniel's done here is he's tried to hit the ball off the inside of the post to keep the possession for himself. He didn't want to hit it into that back corner that he was facing, because that's where Jack is. Jack's about to steal the boost away in that corner. If Daniel hits the inside of the post and the ball goes across the goal line into the other corner, then he'll actually just get a complete turnover of possession and 100 boost. So big win. You know, there is a big reward to play with there. As there is here as well. Daniel deletes the ball. That was a Jack POV for that one, and there is absolutely nothing he could have done. Monster flick from Daniel from point blank range to reinstate that 2-goal lead. Well, pressure's off here for Daniel. I feel like that might also favor him in a matchup like this. A matchup against a guy who recently reverse swept, and the fact that he doesn't have to actually win any games in order to confirm that he's going to take the #1 spot in the cross-region ProDrops Invitational, I think it favors him. It helps him in this matchup, because if you're coming into this matchup and Daniel needs to win X amount of games against Jack, a guy who recently beat him 4 times in a row, 4 games in a row, then things might start to get a little bit nervy for him, and he might start getting inside his own head a little bit, but there's not even any danger of that happening. I think that kind of comfortability allows Daniel to thrive. He's a player who can elevate himself to best in the world status when he's focused, when he's calm. But definitely in those absolute peak pressure situations, I mean, his own professional team has been known to make silly mistakes, and Daniel recently, you know, initially in fact seemed to be crumbling in the last game that they played. Himself and Jack played against each other. He's done it again. This is not defendable if Jack's going to sit back like this. I mean, Jack's really got 2 options. He either gets inside his goal or he challenges, because positioning himself slightly off the goal line like this just doesn't give him enough time to react to this. If he's inside the goal, or at least like on the goal line, maybe, just maybe, he can react to these flicks from Daniel. But if Daniel's launching them at that speed, you're probably going to need to just go out and challenge him early. If he outplays you, so be it. That's what Jack does here. In fact, Daniel switched up low. Jack read it. Huge, huge read to see something like that coming. After consecutive success by Daniel with the flick game, it would not be wrong for Jack to challenge high, anticipating it one more time. Oh, look at this. That's creative in the approach from Jack. He really needed to land perfectly a few times in a row there. Still playing for the game win. Jack looking to get back within 1. He's still going to be stuck 3 goals down after some solid defense from Daniel and a good long shot to back it up. 8-4. Daniel advancing even further away from the competition at the top of the group. I wonder, I've actually been thinking about ones formats a lot. This is probably a good time to talk about it since we've got a confirmed win for Daniel in game 1. But I've been thinking a bunch about ones formats and what would be the coolest way to work it if we did have a chance of doing a big international tournament in the future at some point. You know, the reason why things like league plays and things like groups don't really work, or aren't, in my opinion, that interesting in 3v3, are because the stakes aren't high enough. I think a little bit more of a cutthroat experience in threes makes a bit more sense, because 3v3 can be so back and forth at the top level. But for 1v1, the top players, if you got the top 20 players in North America, chucked them all in a league, you know who's going to finish near the top, and you know which teams are going to thrive in a league play, or you know which players are going to thrive. You put them in a Swiss stage, you know which players are going to thrive, and so on. You put them in a double elimination, you know which players are going to thrive. But with 3v3, the more harsh the format gets, the more deadly the format gets to the teams and the players involved, the less predictable it is. You're not sure who's going to make it all the way. You know, you look at how different the predictions are for a lot of people going into the fall major. That'll show you an example of exactly what I'm saying here. Yeah, 1v1, it doesn't really matter what format you do. I think the same players are going to thrive anyway, because it is just a more punishing game mode than 3v3. Yeah, for that reason, I think that what ones needs the most is volume of games. There's no lack of volume of games in threes. There's so many events that you don't need more games. You don't need the amount of games the league play would give you, but you do in ones. And ones, the fact that we only see the best players in the world play a couple of times throughout the calendar year is what's holding it back from having a unanimous best in the world. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, turn off the nameplate so you'd be forgiven for thinking that was Jack, but it was actually Daniel this time, who's missed an open net by an absolute mile. And then he's done very well to score on the next shot. That's not an easy one to boom past Jack, who expected a near post effort. Yeah, Jack looks to be a bit lost in the matchup right now. But don't forget, he did look lost in his first 3 games that he played against Daniel when they played best of 7 on Fear's stream recently. It was quite funny watching the Twitch chat. I was watching that match live on my second monitor, and I remember looking at the Twitch chat when Jack was losing to Daniel 3 games in a row to go down 3-0 in a best of 7. The amount of, you know, variations of EU, Omega Lol, EU, Kick W, Jack is trash, NA on top. You know, the amount of variations of comments like that I saw while Jack was losing. And then switching up to, you know, seeing more comments like, Jack is NA now. Why are you guys pretending like he's EU? He's a North American player. Jack wants to be EU. No, Jack wants to be NA. Jack said himself he wants to be NA. I saw like all the same people who earlier on were like, oh, EU's trash. As soon as Jack started winning, they were like, oh, actually, Jack's NA. So, for Jack, basically for him, he can't win. If he wins, then both regions are trying to claim him, and if he loses, no one's trying to claim him. Oh, look at this. Wait, Jack's actually got a shot here. Oh, he had a decent bounce. He had a decent bounce with the pogo. Is Daniel going to try one of his own here? I think he might. Jack didn't get it to work. Yeah, Daniel's going to give it a go and botches it. It's so cool seeing all the top players trying to do this. They might actually turn this into a pogo 1v1, you know? No, Jack's going to challenge early. He's not having it. He's saying, okay, 1 each, enough. Now let me have the ball. Let me have the ball. I haven't scored yet, and I want to score at some point here. Twitch kids in a nutshell. Yeah, of course, Twitch kids, but also like literally any social media as well. It's all of us. We're all like this. You know, coming from Scotland. Oh, nice slow shot from Daniel. I was going to say, coming from Scotland, I'm very used to it. Whenever I see a Scottish athlete doing well, the news and all of the newspapers call them British. Whenever I see a Scottish athlete doing poorly, the news and the newspapers call them Scottish. So that's what Jack's going through right now. Jack, Nolly, and Chronic as well. Gen G as a whole. Primary example, Andy Murray. Exactly. Yeah, literally anytime Andy Murray's struggling, anytime Andy Murray's like yelled at an umpire, the Scot, the angry Scot, and anytime he wins, Britain victorious once again. So I know what it's like. Been watching that my whole life. Nice little boost pick up on spawn there from Daniel. Just going to lob the shot at the near post top corner. Look at this from Daniel. This is very educational actually. Doesn't look like much, but this is a very, very intelligent shot. Daniel hitting the ball directly above Jack's head. Why is he doing that? Well, he's doing that for a few reasons. Number one, when you're winning 3-0, you don't need to take risks. Number two, when you hit the ball directly over your opponent's head in defense, it is very difficult for them to clear it and counter-attack you quickly. And number three, there's always the chance that they might just miss. Even a player at Jack's level might just miss. Now, if you're a lower level player, if you're not an absolute world-class player like these two are, then you're probably playing against people who could miss at any moment when you do that. Just chip the ball, flick the ball, shoot the ball, any kind of touch that goes towards the near post top corner over your opponent's head is actually very difficult for your opponent to deal with. And not only that, it's an easier rebound than hitting the ball into the crossbar, hitting the ball into the far post. So I'd recommend implementing that into your own game. Daniel's showing it at the highest level here. It still can be effective. But that's something we've seen for years, ever since the very start of the 1v1 meta evolution. Shooting far post is kind of what the defender wants you to do a lot of the time. Whenever somebody's shadowing, they want you to hit the ball to the far post. They want you to hit it into a position that they can work with, they can turn into power for them. You don't give them that opportunity if you shoot near post. Daniel's looking to just completely ace Jack here. He's scored with a flip reset, actually. I think Daniel might have been trying to flip reset triple tap here, but the reset just went so fast off his car that it's gone in. He boomed it right in the top corner. This really will be the perfect revenge for Daniel. It's a really nice recovery there by Jack. Wouldn't have been possible for him to easily get back to save this without the newly popularized wave dash right after landing. And that's really all Jack's got to write home about for this game, unless he can score something special right at the very end of it, and he can't. 6-0. Daniel in game 2. Looking to crush his nearly same region opposition here and win the group in emphatic fashion, you know, puts it beyond all doubt. Of course, if Jack wins this, if Jack somehow wins this series, and Daniel wins the group on game win-loss differential, there's going to be, you know, a lot of people saying, oh yeah, look at that, Rawas could have won the group if he just scored that 0-second goal versus Daniel. But if Daniel just sweeps Jack here, that completely throws that theory out of the window, because then even if Rawas was able to beat Daniel, and I mean even if, obviously he didn't, but even if he did, it still wouldn't have been enough. Still would not have been enough, because that would be only a 4-game win-loss differential swing, and at the moment Daniel is 5 clear, about to be 6 clear. No, yeah, he's 3. Yeah, 5 clear, 6, about to be 6 win-loss differential clear if he can win this. So yeah, even if Rawas beat him in games 4 and 5 of their matchup, wouldn't have mattered. Daniel is just too good, it would seem. But is Jack just setting up the reverse sweep once again? It's how he beat Daniel the last time that the two played. Daniel utterly dominated him 3 games in a row. And then Jack woke up in game 4, took game 5, started to really control the match in game 6 and looked like the favourite. And then he completely broke Daniel's mental in game 7. It was a devastating defeat for Daniel at the hands of ApparentlyJack. And really the only way that Daniel can fully redeem himself there is by sweeping Jack here. I feel like if he doesn't sweep Jack, he's going to feel like he needs to beat him again. He's going to feel like, okay, yeah, Jack's probably still got me there. He's probably still got me there. Between these two series, I think he's probably the more impressive. But it could be a sweep. I think if Daniel sweeps him, he'll be completely recovered in this matchup mentally. He'll think, okay, well, that was clearly just a bit of a mental lapse the first time that we played recently. I let him back into the series when I shouldn't have. Oh dear, Jack, very, very risky there, but Daniel's in the back of his own net, luckily for Jack, who was definitely not recovering quickly there, and he's not recovering quickly here either. He sets up Daniel for his 3rd goal of the game. That puts Daniel 2 clear. Well, Jack's really rushed that one. He was hoping Daniel would be fighting him for that off-the-wall play. Daniel's just patiently waiting in the middle of the field for Jack to hit the ball right to him. Jack trying to commit for that kickoff win. He's actually going to maybe make it back here. Daniel's air dribbling high though, and that's going to take it out of reach of ApparentlyJack, who does get a touch, and not much. You gotta wonder, why did Jack keep fighting for that boost when it looked like Daniel was quite easily going to beat him to it. A little bit of a dandroid moment there as well. Just a brief cosplay. We've seen Daniel for the entirety of this game. Are we going to see dandroid at all for the rest of it? Oh, look at that. We might actually. It's another dandroid play. And you can see why it's so solid. He's always got a recovery planned if he's dandroiding. He is, yeah. We're going to see dandroid for the rest of their game. Oh, this is brilliant. One of my favorite things about 1v1 at the moment is the bot Fennec players showing up and dominating. Well, I think that's just it then. If Daniel's playing as dandroid for the rest of the game, what chance does Jack really have? Jack will have to become a literal mobile phone app in order to win this. He'll have to become AppJack. I don't know if that's his own bot Fennec name or if he has one. Yeah, you can do it. He's been trying to play like that in 3v3. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I thought Jack might be double open net missing, but he's gone back to it. Yeah, Jack app. Jack application. I think AppJack is probably like his dandroid, because apparently Jack is his human name. AppJack is Jack's dandroid equivalent. Okay, Daniel conceding there. No, he's still just front flipping. He's not aerialing at all. Yeah, he's front flipping. I think he might he might be just trying to play as flat as he can. This is incredible. Yep. Still no air roll from Daniel. He's air steering into a very, very solid 50-50. Another shot on target for Daniel. Just chipping away at Jack's defense. But Jack's holding on, and that's a great recovery. Daniel is just beating him while front flipping around the field and completely bot air dribbling. Yep, it's worked. 6-2. Now this is a flex right here. This is a huge flex from Daniel, because he did, like I said, he's not whipped out dandroid at all this tournament. He's not done it in any of the games against Ruas. He's not done it in any of the games against Darius. And now in what could be the last game of the entire group, the last game of his series against Jack, he's whipping out dandroid and going for a win in the only matchup he's played as his bot counterpart. And what has Jack got left? Wave dash in the ceiling. One dodge off target. And now here comes dandroid once again. Oh, a little bit of an air roll there, but it was for a recovery, so I think we can forgive that. And even at the very start of Rocket League's pre-RLCS scene, you would see air rolls for recoveries, so that's acceptable. Great timing there from Daniel to deflect Jack's shot over the bar. He just looks so comfortable when he switches up to the dandroid playstyle. It looks like nothing surprises him. And I'm not joking here. I know a lot of you think I'm joking when I say that this is working and this is a good thing to be doing, but it really doesn't look like anything can surprise him. No challenge, you know, really comes in at an angle that he can't deflect to a safe location. There's not really any play against him that looks like he's not able to deal with. It feels like this is a play that, or play style that just works so well for a super mechanical player like Daniel, because it just allows him time to just think fully about the game. He doesn't even need to think about his mechanics. Just steers into the ball, drives into the ball every turn. 42 seconds left. He's increased the score lead since switching up to dandroid playstyle. I just love when he does this, when he takes off sideways and continues flying sideways. The commitment to this playstyle is honestly quite admirable. Daniel's gonna maybe think about a double demo here. Oh, he times it perfectly. He's going for the triple. Perfect timing needed. Oh, Jack spawned twice in the same place. That's not fair. How does he manage that? I think Daniel was on point with it. Either way, he's been on point this entire tournament. He crushes Jack 3-0, finishing off with an appearance of everybody's favorite ones player at the moment, dandroid himself. That's his second tournament out of 4 on my stream recently. that Daniel has been victorious in.